you mean I owe you money? Like, I'm not gonna give you more money. And that's why he got that close and was just like, you owe me. Like, he was threatening me. So we're just gonna get right into it real quick. Let's do this. So December 26, 2017 is when I got my first tattoo. I just turned 18 a couple days before, and I called literally all the tattoo places that people recommended. And as soon as I found the one, I was like, you know what, I want this so bad. I had to wait because the 24th and 25th, the stores, of course, was closed because due to Christmas and Christmas Eve, or Christmas Eve and Christmas. So I couldn't get it done until the 26th when they reopened. Well, I was impatient, so as soon as I got that, I called and I was like, hey, I'm interested in this. I'm wondering what's your availability, if there's an artist in there that can do my tattoo. So I went in there knowing what I wanted. I called a guy, and I was with someone at that time, and she was saying how she's gonna come with me, and I was like, okay, cool. So she's coming with me, right? And I'm in the car, like we are planning to go, like right this second, right now. And I'm calling the place, and I'm like, hey, I'm Selena, da 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 da. I'm really interested in this tattoo. I'm wondering what's your availability, if I can get it done right now. He said, yes. There's actually nobody in the shop. You can come get it right now. So I was so excited. I was like, finally, I get to get this tattoo done. So I rush and I tell her, I'm like, hey, let's go. So we're headed there. And as I'm on the phone, I haven't hung up yet. Hey, I want to know how much it's going to cost. Like, I was trying to give him an estimate of how big I wanted it. And I was like trying to describe it. I didn't really know the measurements. I didn't really know how to tell him how big it's going to be, of course, without showing him and going in there. And I knew that. So I was like, it's like 8 to 10 quarters. Like, that's the size of how I want it or whatever. And he was like, okay. And I asked him right then and there, I was like, one, how much is it going to cost? And I tried to describe, like, how big it was because I didn't know, I didn't have any knowledge of, like, how this stuff works out. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they pick the prices and all that. Then I finally get to the shop, right? And I enter, I'm smiling. I'm so excited. And I was like, hey, and he was like, hey, are you the girl that wants to get this rose? And I said, yes, that's me. And he was like, okay, cool. And he was like, do you have a picture or anything like that you can show me? I said, yes, I do. So I showed him the picture, and when I showed him the picture for the second time, mind y'all, for the second time, I asked him, how much is this going to cost? There's a really important reason why I'm telling y'all how much it's going to cost. It will make sense at the end of the story, okay? So I asked him how much it's going to cost. He was like, I can't tell you, mama. I can't tell you until until I print out the picture and I get it on, like, the little sketch thingy to put on your arm to, whatever, to get the size for you and all that. I was like, okay, cool. So I text him the picture, and then he goes in the back. He gets it printed off, and he comes back. Well, me and the person that I was with went to go sit down on the couch, and we were like looking through his album and stuff of like the pictures that of the tattoos that he's done already. And he's a really cool artist. Like, he's really talented and everything. And I knew like I was going to be satisfied with his work already. Me and my little happy self, he finally comes back and he puts the thing on me, right? So as he's putting it on me, like measuring it, and I told him where I wanted it, so he just puts it on my arm, and it looked too big to me. I wanted it a little smaller. This is why I'm telling y'all, if you're getting your first tattoo, make sure you have your say-so and don't get convinced otherwise. I was honestly way too excited. I just didn't care. So when he put it on me and he said, I was like, wait, looks a little too big. And he was like, no, it looks good. Like, it looks fine. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. You're right. So he goes back into his station. He's getting his stuff set up. So there are 2 flags right there. I already asked him twice how much it was going to cost, and he really didn't give me an answer to it. And he said when he got it printed out that he was going to tell me how much it cost. Okay. The second flag was he already gave me a red flag of me not completely having 100% say so in what I wanted. So that was like already a red flag, but I didn't see it. So he was getting his station set up. I went to go sit down, and then I watched him while he like took the tools out that he's about to use on my arm. So they were fresh tools, and they were clean, and they were sanitized. He puts it on me, and then he gets the needle out, and when he gets like the tiny little needle thingy. I was like so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt so much. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start and finish strong. I got this. So he puts it on, and then he's like, I hear the needle thing go on. I'm like, oh crap. He starts from the bottom. So he starts from like here, and then he goes up. And it took about an hour altogether. So we're just gonna hurry up and finish the story because, okay. So it didn't hurt at that second. Like, it honestly didn't. And he was talking to me. We were talking, and he was like, hey, Mama, why are you getting this and all that? He was talking to me all sweet. And I was just like, I actually opened up and told him the true reason why. I was like, okay, well, a time last year I was sexually assaulted. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry for hearing that. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. Like, it's fine. And I was like, the reason why I'm getting it is just because when I went through my depression, I wanted something to represent how I'm still here. Like, I'm a survivor, and this is what's going to happen, basically. So I was very open and honest with him, and I thought we were really connecting. I thought my tattoo person and I was really connecting. And so he heard everything else I said besides the price. Wonder why I'm saying this? Let's get into it. Just hurry up. I'm not going to give the long story. I'm just going to give a short story. So long story short, he is done with the tattoo, y'all. Like, he is done. It only took about an hour or so. And he goes back to the guy that's behind him, and he asks, he was like, hey, how much do you think this is? At first, he was joking, and they both said $600. And my jaw, like, dropped because I was like...
What the hell?
What?
What the hell?
Over the phone, I have a budget. I told you. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean? It's $600. And then they started laughing. They were like, oh, I'm just joking with you. It's going to be $160.
What are you doing?
Dollars. I thought they were joking again. I thought they were just about to be like, haha, just kidding again. Like, haha, got me. No, they weren't kidding. So I like moved to the front and stuff. He's like cleaning down his station, and he was like, oh, you can pay me now. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to pay you now, but how much is it? He's like, I already told you. I was like, what you mean you already told me? You didn't tell me anything. He was like, I told you it's $160. I said, wait a second. You were serious about that one? What do you mean it's $160? And I was like, well, there's a problem. He was like, and then that's when he like got up from cleaning. He looked at me and he was like, what's the problem? And I was like, see, I told you over the phone, and I told you multiple times and asked you multiple times how much this was going to cost, because I already said, and fair warning, I have a budget. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I only have $80. It was awkward silence for a second. He was like, well, this is awkward. And I was just like, yeah, it is. He was like, you don't have a card. There's an ATM right there. Like, you can go get more money. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I told you specifically, I have a budget. Like, this is what I'm working with. And that's why I called you in advance twice before I even came to the shop. And he just started, like, not going off on me yet, but he was, like, mad. Like, you can tell he was mad. And I was like, it's not really my fault. Like, you're trying to take advantage of me, and you thought I was dumb. Like, I've already told you this, that I got a budget. Okay? Okay. So then, this is when this story goes into a whole shenanigan. So
I was like, it's about to go down.
Shenanigan. So he comes up close to me personally. Like, he's this close to my face.
About to go down.
And he was just like, you owe me. I'm sorry. Are you threatening me? Don't threaten me. Like, what? This is a tattoo place. You ain't about to threaten me up in a tattoo place. Like, no. So he, like, got this close to my face and was just like, we gotta repeat this.
You owe me.
So I had $80, right? And I was honestly about to give him only $60 because of that threat. And he was saying how he knows how it was my birthday. So he's like, okay, I'll bring it down to $140. But you owe me, like, you still owe me this money. And so right after I got my tattoo done, I call my parents, and I'm like mad at this time because I'm just like, what? I didn't do anything wrong in this situation. Like, okay, I probably should have like been smarter when I saw those red flags and left, but I didn't. Like, he knew that I was a teen, like I just turned 18, like I'm still young, and I'm not thinking on my feet right now because I was so determined to get this tattoo. So he was trying to take advantage of me basically, and I was not with it. So I call my mom, and I'm like panicking, and I'm like, Mom, this is the story. And she was like, see, I told you, you shouldn't have got a tattoo, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Mom, this is not the time to tell me I told you so. Like, this is the time to be serious. And I was like, the only reason why I was nervous is because I wrote down my address. And there's crazy people in this world. Like, you don't know what crazy people will do because there's so many crazy people in this world. So the only reason why I was like nervous is because I was like, what if he shows up at my house? But I live in the country, and I realized that I wrote down the wrong address anyway. So I was like, okay, pull up. So yeah, that is my story of the time that this man tried to rip me of my youth. No, I'm just kidding. He tried to rip me off for my first tattoo. And that's why I'm telling y'all, make sure y'all have someone with you, make sure you're smart about it, and yeah. Honestly, like, this is how I'm reacting. Like, I cannot be threatened because, like, I'm gonna cry. No, like, that's not really how I'm gonna react. Like, on the bottom of my heart, I don't ask for too much. Like, as long as you respect me, I'm gonna respect you. And that's always how I've been taught. Like, when you cross that line, though, and you've already disrespected me, or like you've threatened me, now not only have you lost my self-respect, you ain't getting no respect from me. Like, I'm waiting for an apology afterwards. Build another relationship, because you already done demolished, stepped over. It's a hard knock. It's a hard We're rolled over like a train already went through the relationship and the foundation we already had. Like, you killed it. You killed it. Congratulations. You murdered it. And yeah, so that is all I have for y'all today, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I loved creating it, and I will see you later, alligator. Bye. Time when I felt threatened, I don't care how big you are, I don't care how strong you look, and how many freaking tattoos you got on your freaking body. I don't care. You're not gonna disrespect me and threaten me. What's up with it? What's up?
Give me a E. Give me a T. T. Y. I'm petty all the time. Give me a P. Give me a E. Give me a T. T. Y. I'm petty all the time. My name's Darky.
All the time. My name's Sabrina. Yeah. Yes, I am.
No, I'm petty. I like to start some mess.
Oh, yeah.
You don't like me. You don't like me, but you don't wanna get down. You don't wanna post up when Kiki come around. Break it down now. E to the T, T-Y.
I got a song for you. For you that want to threaten me, I got a song for you. Ready?
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well.
Cut. No. I actually got a better song for you. Ready? There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus. So break every chain,